Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hey, it's Duke.
And this is Corey.
Welcome back to the Drive-In Review.
Yeah, episode 7.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Wow. Clear eyes.
I thought you were going to go Owen Wilson on me.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Wow. It's amazing. That is wacky stuff. I did not know that.
Oh, sorry, folks. We're a little wacky. It's been...
Wacky stuff.
It's been a while. Sorry for the delay.
It's been a while.
It's this is a long episode, so we had to make sure we got everything good for you guys.
Mm-hmm. We took our sleeping medicine.
Yeah. we played some video games.
Yeah. On codeine. Not really.
All right. How about you start?
Okay. Well, we're going to be talking about movies that were adapted from video games.
Good or bad?
Yeah, most of them are, well, I'll leave that up to you to decide. But the first one I have is the Mortal Kombat film from 2021.
Yes. Awesome movie.
I guess.
You haven't seen it?
I've seen half of it.
Okay.
It didn't do much for me.
Ah.
But it was released April 23rd, 2021. The film was directed by Simon McQuoid. And that's basically all he's directed. I think he did one little other thing, but yeah, Mortal Kombat, Simon McQuoid. McQuoid. McQuoid.
He is doing the sequel, too.
Wow.
So he is signed on to do the sequel for this.
Okay. Good to know. This film was also, it was written by Greg Russo, and also done by a man named Dave Callahan.
Why does that sound familiar?
Callahan Auto Parts. No, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Not Tommy Boy. But Dave Callahan had done some writing for The Expendables, all three of them, as well as the Shang-Chi and the
Ten Rings.
The 10 Rings. Yeah, the Marvel film. He also did some writing for the Godzilla movie. Was that 2015 Godzilla?
Mm-hmm.
And he also wrote Doom, which is on our list for today.
Oh, nice.
IMDb gave this film a 6.0 out of 10, which is actually fairly good, I guess, for this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it, so I can't even. Letterboxd gave it a 2.5 out of 5. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 54% with an audience rating of 86%.
Now I can vouch for that. So the ratings to me for those are a little low. What did you give for the half of the movie that you've seen?
4.
4? Okay.
Yeah, I can't give it a full-fledged rating because
I gave it a 7 out of 10 slates. I'm more Mortal Kombat, I guess, educated than you. No offense, but
no, I'm not offended.
It's
a true story.
Yeah, no, it's not a true story. This was a reboot of the 95 film.
Did you like this movie better than the 95 film?
Yes and no. I'm cross between the two. I like them both. The first one, I'll get to that because that's on my list.
Yeah.
Later on. The 2021 version, everybody liked that one because the director gave them what they wanted. They wanted to see fatalities, and they wanted the R-rated and the gore and stuff like that.
But there wasn't the tournament.
It wasn't the tournament, no.
Isn't that supposed to be the next one coming up?
Yes. So this is going to be a trilogy.
Okay.
As long as the second one does as well as this one did. This one was a prequel to like before an origin story.
So this is basically just a build up to what's coming with the other two movies.
Yes. Yeah. And people were upset because they were expecting the tournament and they didn't get that.
I think I would appreciate this movie more once those other two movies come out, so I'll get the full experience.
The full picture. Yeah. Yeah.
But as of right now, it didn't do much for me. It did not deliver.
Right.
So yeah. It was made on a budget of $55 million, and it made $84 million.
So yeah, it still made money.
It
but
made its money, but
probably not what was expected.
right. The movie is the cast of the movie includes Louis Tan, Jessica McNamee, and Josh Lawson. It was filmed largely in South Australia.
Okay.
One fun fact about South Australia, this film was the biggest budgeted film to be shot in the area of South Australia.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wonder what Crocodile Dundee, weren't they in Australia as well?
Yeah, but I don't think they were in South Australia.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know for sure where they were.
Yeah, no, I'm just
aside
curious.
from being walkabout.
Right. Walkabout Creek.
Yeah. The only other fact I have about this film is that Van Damme's daughter Bianca auditioned for the role of Melina. And who is Melina again?
So Melina is a
expert. You're the expert. Let us know.
So Melina is a clone of Princess Katana that the Emperor Shao Kahn created in her likeness to be on his side because she resented him for killing her parents.
Okay, you didn't even miss a beat with all that.
No, I didn't. I told you, man. I'm
that shit's going right over my head. I have no idea what
you
you're
are
saying.
the horror guru. I am the Mortal Kombat guru
Fair
here.
Yeah. But that's really all I have for Mortal Kombat 2021. Do you want to talk about the 1995 one?
Not right now. I'm gonna save that for a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, we'll break it up a little bit. Give people a rest.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk about another fighting movie, Street Fighter.
Troopers, I just received new orders. Our superiors say the war is canceled. We can all go home. Bison is getting paid off for his crimes, and our friends who have died here will have died for nothing. But we can all go home. Meanwhile, ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up. But we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
Okay. That was 94, 95?
Yeah, it was released December 23rd, 1994.
Okay.
It starred Jean-Claude Van Damme, Raul Julia,
Oh,
amongst many more.
that was Raul Julia's final film, too.
It was,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, and I'll talk about that here in just a minute. But anyways, if you've never played the video game Street Fighter, it was one of the most popular video games that Capcom has ever made. And,
Really?
Yeah, it came out, I think, before Mortal Kombat did.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a few months before.
Yep, and so it was just huge. The moves, the combos, and everything just highly popular.
I was a freshman in high school.
You were a freshman when it came out?
Yeah.
Wow,
I think both movies, I was a freshman.
that's crazy. Yeah,
Because I remember when Raul Julia
I
died.
went. So in '95, I went because that's when Mortal Kombat came out. It was my 16th birthday, day after my 16th birthday.
Really?
So, yep.
Okay, so I would have been 15, going on into 10th grade then.
Yeah. So exciting.
Yeah.
We're getting old.
Anywho.
Anyways, it's the movie is about a dictator named General Bison. He captures a busload of relief workers and holds them for ransom. And Colonel Guile, played by Van Damme, gathers up a strike team and tries to rescue the hostages and save the day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the synopsis of that one. And it was directed by Stephen E. De Souza.
De Souza.
And he also wrote Die Hard, Commando, 48 Hours, and The Flintstones.
Okay.
So that's a very...
Yeah, just kind of...
Went from action-packed to yabba-dabba-doo.
Yeah, kind of went off track there for a sec. But those are all classic 90s film, 80s, 90s.
Right.
You said he wrote these movies?
He wrote those movies.
Okay.
So I think Street Fighter was his directorial debut.
Okay.
It was distributed and produced by Universal Pictures and Capcom Entertainment. Had a budget of $35 million and grossed $99.5 million.
That's not bad.
No. IMDb gave it 4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it only 11% with a 20% audience rating. And Letterboxd gave it 2.1 out of 5. I actually gave this 6 out of 10 slates. I didn't think it was that bad.
Okay.
And everything. It was some cheesy acting, but just the nostalgic of it and the fact that it was Raul Julia's last role just brought it home and just made it that much better.
I can't say that I've seen the movie. If I have, it's been years, and that memory has escaped me.
Right.
But I can't give it a rating because I don't recall ever watching the entire movie.
Okay. Some fun facts about it. Even though Jean-Claude Van Damme is not, all American, Capcom insisted he played the role of Colonel Guile, not Bile. Jeez. Colonel Guile in the movie because he looked exactly like the character on the video game. I mean, identical.
Okay.
So much that they spent $8 million out of their budget just to have him in the film.
Wow.
So
He got paid $8 million to do that movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, of course, we talked about this was Raul Julia's last movie before he died of cancer. He had to undergo surgery right before filming started and had lost a ton of weight.
Mm-hmm.
And so the makeup crew had a field day trying to conceal his condition and everything throughout the movie.
Mm.
So you can
That's
tell, watching the movie, you can kind of tell that it was part of his later days.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff,
rough.
so.
That's rough.
But that's all I got on
Didn't he have
Street Fighter.
stomach cancer? Was it stomach cancer?
I think
It
so.
was, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But
But that's all you have for the film?
that's all I have for that one.
Now, didn't Raul Julia do that movie only because his children liked the game?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They talked to him about it and convinced him to do it, so that he kind of gained enough weight because he wasn't even he was so ill that or malnourished because of his illness and stuff that he wasn't physically fit for it. So
Right.
he had to force himself to try and gain some weight and everything for the role.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I guess the next movie I have is Doom.
Doom. I remember playing that on the PC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was it on any other console aside from the PC?
I mean, now it is, but back then, no, it was just a PC only. It was a first-person shooter.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I remember playing it. What was it? Mid 90s?
yeah. Yeah, about that.
It was around the same time as like Duke Nukem. Is that about right? Sound right to you?
Yeah,
Gamer?
about the same graphics, too, as
Yeah.
Duke Nukem.
Right. Weren't they both first person?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought so.
Yeah.
Doom was released October 21st, 2005. It was directed by Andrei Barkoviak. I think I said it right. Barkoviak.
Barkoviak, yeah.
Let's see. I don't have anything on him as far as directing, but the film was written by, again, Dave Callahan, and also by a man named Wesley Strick, who also wrote Nightmare on Elm Street, the 2010 remake.
Okay.
Also did Wolf with Jack Nicholson. Also wrote the 1991 Cape Fear
Nice.
with Robert
Yeah.
De Niro. And also wrote Arachnophobia,
Awesome.
which was the very first horror movie I saw in theaters in 1990.
Really?
Yep.
Are you looking forward to the remake?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a remake.
I don't know either.
That's-
I mean, the original scares me. I mean,
That's not really a movie you need to remake.
no.
It's a classic.
They're rebooting it though.
Of course they are. So IMDb gave Doom a 5.2 out of 10. Letterboxd gave it a 2.0 out of 5. Ooh. And Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 18% with a 34% audience rating. Pretty low.
Yeah, I only gave this one 5 out of 10. It was par. It was one of Dwayne Johnson's like earliest roles,
Yeah.
and it just didn't fit right.
He was still wrestling during this time,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah. He still had hair.
he? Yeah, that. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen that
Surprise.
one yet? Yeah, it's
I haven't seen most of these movies.
it was very weird. I mean, as far as the game goes, it's hard to depict a PC game like that, a first-person shooter,
Right.
because I mean, you're just basically shooting aliens, So I think they had to, come up with a lot of stuff and improvise and everything to make the movie. It wasn't bad, but again, like I said, it was kind of just out there.
Well, since you brought up the first person aspect, I don't have this written down, but it did kind of stick in my head. The first person aspect of the film, I don't know where it is in the film or whatever, but it took 14 days to shoot that segment of the film.
Okay.
So that's one of the fun little facts I have. I'm getting ahead of myself. The movie was made on a budget of $60 million, and it only made $58 million, so it lost money.
Just a little.
I think it's the only movie on my list that did lose money.
Huh.
Everything else went well over. Yeah, I think that's the only one that's lost
And
money
that's
on my list.
and it's not a bad deficit, really.
Not $2 million.
Yeah. It's not horrible.
It's only $2 million.
Yeah, just 2 million. I mean, that's like chump change in movie money.
The movie starred Carl Urban. I guess we know him from The Boys.
Yeah.
Also starred Dwayne Johnson, obviously. Rosamund Pike. Doug Jones, who is a very famous monster actor. He's usually in makeup. He was in...
He's in a lot.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
been in a lot of stuff.
He was in Hellboy.
Yeah, Hellboy.
God, what
Shape
else?
of Water.
Yeah, Shape of Water.
Yeah, he's going to be at Crypticon this year.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I
he'll
love
be there.
Doug Jones. He's great.
Well, if you're coming with me, we get to meet him.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. The movie was filmed in Prague, in and around Prague, in the Czech Republic. No, I said that way too.
Yeah.
It was in the Czech Republic.
Right.
In Prague. But some of the fun facts I have was Dwayne Johnson was offered the lead role, but chose the role of Sarge because it was more interesting to him. Let's see what else. The character Samantha Grimm, when she's unlocking the electric keypad, using the electric keypad in one of the scenes, I think about 25 minutes into the movie, the same notes that it plays out are the same notes from Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Ah, nice.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Right.
Rosamund Pike, who was one of the main crew members or one of the main cast members in the film, turned down a role in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire to make this damn film. Yeah,
Wow.
a movie that lost money. She turned down.
Right. Turned down Harry Potter.
Harry Potter for this thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a bad mistake.
And finally, Dwayne Johnson admits that he felt nauseous after playing the Doom games.
I bet. There's a lot of spinning around. Talk about, since you just talked about Mortal Kombat and mentioned Carl Urban is in this one, it's coincidence. He is in final talks right now playing Johnny Cage in the Mortal Kombat sequel, where everybody he's not in the first movie.
He's not in
the
Mortal Kombat 21.
Yeah, he's not in it at all. He's not mentioned until the very end of the movie.
The character is not mentioned.
Yeah.
Not Carl Urban. They're not.
No, not
sitting
Carl
down
Urban. Just
discussing
Johnny
Carl
Cage
Urban in the movie.
is not mentioned in the movie at all.
Just want to make sure
So-
they weren't just like.
So the biggest thing was he has to be in the sequel.
Okay.
And who is going to play him? Well, he's in final talks of being it. I think he'll do good. There was plenty of other people. Ryan Reynolds was mentioned. Hugh Jackman
You
was
can't be
mentioned.
overusing Ryan Reynolds just because he's a
Right.
good-looking face.
Right.
And a good
but
actor.
with his and his antics and jokes and stuff like that, that's kind of the persona of Johnny Cage in
Mm-hmm.
the video games. So they thought Ryan Reynolds would play good, but Carl Urban's about the same way too. He's sassy and
Yeah.
and got a mouth on him too.
Yeah,
so
I like him as an actor. He's pretty good. I did
Yeah.
watch the first couple seasons of The Boys. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Very gory.
Right. So I hope he's a really good actor. I hope that these final talks are legit and we get a confirmation soon because I like to see him in the next Mortal Kombat.
Okay. That's all I got for Doom. What you got, Sea-Dog?
Well, next, this is funny, talking about Dwayne Johnson. And by the way, folks, we don't know our lists in order. We've kept that secret just so we can just be random like this. But
I'm going to assume, can I guess what your next one is? Because you
What?
said Dwayne Johnson.
yeah, what is it?
Rampage.
Yes.
Okay. I
Yeah.
took my son to see that in theaters when it came out.
Really?
Not the greatest movie, but I have seen the movie.
Right.
Ding, 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 ding.
There you go. Winner. So yeah, Rampage.
Hell of a day, huh? Science experiments falling from the sky, giant gorilla on the loose. Just the kind of exciting shit we here at the government tend to notice.
It came out in April 13th, 2018. It stars Dwayne Johnson, Naomi Harris, Malin Ackerman, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, the movie's about a primatologist that has an unshakable bond with George, this giant white ape. And he gets poisoned by this genetic experiment and becomes like huge and starts growing at a rapid rate, and also with a wolf and a gator as well. And basically Dwayne Johnson just tries to save save the city.
Well, just like every other movie.
Yeah, the Rampage video game, it was just the three animals just destroying
Yeah.
buildings and eating people and
I'm
everything. So
very familiar with the game. I used to play that quite a bit.
right,
It's a fun game.
But I thought it was a good movie. It was directed by Brad Payton, which also did San Andreas, Journey to the Mysterious Island. So there's
Wow,
a connection
okay.
with Dwayne Johnson
Sure.
there, And it was distributed and produced by Warner Brothers Pictures and New Line Cinema.
Okay.
It had a budget of $130 million.
Wow.
It grossed $428.
Wow.
So, it
It's
did
not
its
the
part.
greatest movie, but surprisingly,
Right.
made quite a bit of money.
IMDb gave it 6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 51% with a 72% audience rating.
Wow.
And Letterboxd gave it 2.5 out of 5.
I think that sounds pretty reasonable.
I gave it 8 out of 10 slates.
Really?
It wasn't the best movie, but action-wise and everything, I thought it was cool.
I didn't think it was a bad movie. I'd give it 6 out of 10
Yeah.
slates. Yeah. It was enjoyable enough.
Right. I thought it was a lot. You know, I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan too.
Yeah, sure.
So, some fun facts about this is a lot of special effects were done on an iPad. At you know, and that turned out to be like the most handy device on set.
Huh.
So like, I mean, just the coming of age now, where you can just film an entire movie on a freaking iPad. It's
Right.
just crazy. Dwayne Johnson had to learn sign language for this role,
Okay.
and the director spent a lot of time with gorillas and primatologists, and also gators, just to learn their behavior and everything, so he can make it more realistic.
Okay.
So that's all I got.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Let's see. What do I want to talk about? I want to talk about Resident Evil.
ooh, all right.
Resident Evil. I used to play Resident Evil 2 a lot. Back.
Wasn't a fan of the first one, but the sequel.
Right,
Yeah.
part 2. Yeah. I think I even bought a PS1 just to play that game.
Right.
And that was the summer of '98. I spent most of the summer playing that game. I had so much fun. It was a good time. It was a good time in my life.
Yeah.
But the movie was released March 15th, 2002, the oldest movie on my list. Directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, which I believe you have a movie as well, directed by
do.
the same director.
Yes.
So I won't talk about all the movies that he's directed. I'll leave some for you. But he directed all of the newer Death Race movies, the first one, which had Jason Statham in it.
Mm-hmm.
And he also directed the other 2 sequels. And he directed that awful movie, Pompeii.
Yeah, that was
Not a good film.
no, that was bad.
Yeah. It was written also by Paul W.S. Anderson. IMDb gave it a 6.6 out of 10. Letterboxd gave it a 2.9 out of 5. And Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 35% with a 67% audience rating. It's a pretty average film. I think I liked part 2 and 3 better than I liked the original one.
Yeah, they definitely got better in the sequels.
Yeah.
However, what is there, 8 of them now,
I think
or
there
8 or
was
9?
something like that. I
Something
don't even
like that. It was
remember.
ridiculous.
And now they have this newer one that came out a year or 2 ago.
Yeah, that Netflix. It was a Netflix.
Yeah, I think it was something
Yeah.
like that. But
That one doesn't have Mila Jovovich.
no, it does not.
Hey, I said her
You
name
said it
right.
right.
I did. I'm learning.
It was made on a budget of $33 million, and it made $102 million.
Wow.
So it was a pretty successful film.
Right.
The film has Mila Jovovich and Michelle Rodriguez as leading roles.
Yeah.
And it was filmed in Germany and also in Toronto, Canada.
Okay.
Some of the little fun facts I have on this film are, I'm really bad at putting synopsis on these movies, but I mean, if you've played the game,
Right,
you get
then
the
you
idea.
already know, yeah.
Yeah. It's, kind of post-apocalyptic zombies. There you have it.
Right.
Um,
From a virus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From, was it Umbrella Corporation?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the fun facts I have this is all of the bruises and cuts on Mila Jovovich were real, and I'm going to assume it's because she did almost all of her own stunts in the movie.
Yeah. Which, hands off to her.
Yeah.
'Cause she's not built. She's pretty tiny.
Right.
So for
Well,
her.
so is Tom Cruise.
Well, yeah. Right.
He's like 5'2" or something.
That would be an interesting. We need to look that up sometime about her role in The Fifth Element.
What about it?
If she did her own stunts on that one too.
She may have.
Yeah, I mean that's possible.
I mean, she was younger then.
Right.
That would make sense. Also about her, the main reason that she took the role is because her brother was a huge fan of the game.
Well, obviously that'd be cool.
Yeah. And lastly, Michelle Rodriguez wanted the role very badly, even before there was a script. So she was basically telling the director or whomever was in charge, as soon as you have a script written,
I want in.
Yeah, look me up.
Yeah.
I'm right here, guys.
Right. Yeah. No. Michelle Rodriguez is a huge gamer. She loves games. Yeah. She's a big gamer. So it didn't surprise me she wanted to jump on this role.
I'm sure her and her husband probably game a lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So that's really all I have for Resident Evil.
Okay. Well, we're moving right along. on
Moving
here,
right
man.
along, we've got a lot to talk about.
We do. Yeah.
We're doing 10 each, so
I know. This is the longest episode ever.
yeah. Ever. Ever.
Ever.
In the history of podcasts.
All right. My next movie is Blood Rain.
Okay. I've
Never seen it?
I don't even know if I've heard of it.
No. So it was a PlayStation game.
PS1?
Yeah, it came out PS2, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Clearly, I'm not a huge gamer.
Right.
I've been a gamer since the 80s.
I've heard of the game, but I've never played it.
Okay.
But I watched the movie, which surprised me. It's a vampire movie. It's about vampires and stuff, and you don't like vampires.
Not so much.
Yeah, so I can see that. It's the synopsis for it is it's based in 18th century Romania. After spending much of her life in a traveling circus, human vampire hybrid Rain escapes and plots to take down her evil vampire father. When she's discovered by three vampire hunters, Vladimir, Katerin, and Sebastian, she manages to convince them to spare her life and join her cause. So basically, yeah.
Did you write that yourself?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I did not.
Okay.
I'm guilty as charged. I just copied and pasted.
Guilty as charged. Don't you dare write a song right now, Dewey.
Easy there, Dewey. All right. Starring is Kristana Loken. She's the one that plays Rain. Ben Kingsley plays her father. Michael Madsen. Michelle Rodriguez.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. I can't make this stuff up. And Matt Davis.
Matt Davis.
Yeah.
Matt Davis. When did this come out?
It was released January 4th, 2006.
Okay.
It was directed by Uwe Boll.
Okay.
And it was distributed and produced by Pitch Black Pictures.
Pitch Black Pictures. Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
Had a budget of $25 million. It only grossed 3.7.
Ooh.
Yeah, big
Ow.
ouch. Big ouch.
Somebody was mad.
IMDb gave it 2.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 4% with a 17% audience rating.
Woof.
And Letterboxd gave it a 1.4 out of 5.
I'm going to run right out and watch this movie.
I gave it 6 out of 10.
Really?
So yeah, I'm being optimistic here. Like, I mean, it didn't suck, like horrible or anything. It was interesting.
How long has it been since you've seen it? 15 years?
Nah, about 10 maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've seen it multiple times.
Oh.
Before that, like.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a good.
So
I think
you've
it's a good movie.
returned to watch this movie more than once.
Yeah, I would say I'm a fan, but I wasn't a big fan or anything. Just it was on TV, I think.
Okay.
And so when it was on, it was just interesting to watch.
Okay.
That's all.
Fair enough.
Some fun facts about this: Michael Madsen was drunk most of the production.
Nice.
So,
I probably would be too.
the half naked prostitutes were real Romanian prostitutes.
Nice.
The director said it was cheaper than hiring
I
actresses.
bet. Yeah.
Jessica Alba.
Like $25 an hour.
Oh, probably. I mean, that's just insane. Jessica Alba was supposed to play Katerin, which is Michelle Rodriguez's role.
Mm-hmm.
and but she passed, and because it was just too brutal.
Oh, she passed away?
Yeah, no, she passed on the movie. Don't get a death hoax started on her, by God. Despite the low ratings, it did make the top 10 in many foreign theaters.
Okay.
So maybe that was due to the half-naked prostitutes.
Probably. It's like, oh, I know her. I know her.
I know that ass anywhere. So that's all I got. I just thought that was crazy. I mean, no wonder the movie flopped as big as it is. When the actors are getting drunk and there's half-naked prostitutes, I mean, what can you get out of that movie?
Kind of want to see it.
Right. I actually recommend it. It's not bad. It's
Okay.
not a horrible movie.
All right. I mean, there are movies I like that are 0 rated, that have like a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Right.
For instance, The Adventures of Pluto Nash. I enjoy that movie. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit what anybody says.
Right.
It's a fun, stupid movie.
Another fun fact I didn't write down, but I remember Ben Kingsley took the role of the father just because he's always wanted to play a vampire.
Okay.
That was the only, the cape and, everything. So he wanted to play that role.
I bet he makes a good vampire.
Yeah. Yeah, but.
They should
mean,
do a crossover with Gandhi as a vampire.
Okay.
Okay. All right. The movie I'd like to talk about is Silent Hill.
All right.
It's a very popular film. I believe, what was it, PS2?
Yeah.
I got a synopsis ready for you.
All right.
So, a woman, Rose, goes in search for her adopted daughter within the confines of a strange, desolate town called Silent Hill. Yeah. So that's the synopsis for you. It was released April 21st, 2006. It was directed by Christoph Gans. It was written by a man named Roger Avery, who also did some writing. Some of the stories in Pulp Fiction were written by Roger Avery. He also did some work on True Romance and I believe Reservoir Dogs as well.
Okay.
The movie Silent Hill, let's see, IMDb gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Letterboxd gave it a 3.1 out of 5. And Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 31% with a 63% audience rating. It seems pretty average, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. In the horror community, a lot of people praise it.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I would like to. I think I started it once and just never.
Yeah, I think you need to watch it. It's just one of those very eerie films that just.
I've never played the game either.
Yeah, I think the movie is better than the game, actually.
I'm kind of not in my realm with this episode.
Right.
Because I don't know most of these movies. I mean, I've heard of probably 18 out of the 20, maybe 19 out of the 20.
Yeah.
And I've just never played most of these games because I'm not a gamer.
Right.
So I'm not really in my realm here, but
yeah, this is my fault. I knew
doing
this
my best.
I knew this was going to take you out of your box and
It's
everything,
all right.
but I just we were talking about the Super Mario Brothers and everything, and so I figured I'll just create a whole entire episode of video game adaptations.
it's perfectly fine. And then you had to
So-
make it twice as long.
I did.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's
just
fine.
because there's so many of them. You
That's
can't
right.
really leave any out. I mean, I left a whole bunch out.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how many games there were. So
That just means we're going to have to do a top 50 of horror movies.
right.
You know, right?
But no, Silent Hill, I think I think they did a phenomenal job at the movie. I mean, it was creepy. It just made you jump.
Well, it was a very high budget film. It was made on a budget of $50 million. $50 million for a horror movie.
Huh.
That's crazy.
That is.
But it made $100.6 million. So it definitely made its money back times 2.
Right.
The movie has Radha Mitchell, Sean Bean, who is known for his death scenes in every movie that he's in. And also Kim Coates, who has done a lot of work in different TV shows. I believe he was in Sons of Anarchy.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's been making his rounds in the horror convention circuits too. I think he was just doing his rounds last year. The movie was filmed in Canada. I think it was in Toronto, maybe somewhere in Ontario. I believe Ontario. Am I saying it right? I don't know. I'm American.
Ontario. Yeah.
Okay. Some fun facts about the movie is that the movements that the Dark Nurses made
Mm-hmm.
were made by the actors walking backwards and then running the footage in reverse to make it look creepy.
Right.
This is not a new method that filmmakers have used. Actually, they did this in the movie Carrie, in the last scene of Carrie, where one of the surviving girls,
Mm-hmm.
basically the only person that didn't die at the prom, you see her in a dream sequence before she walks up to where Carrie's house stood, and Carrie's hand pops up out of the ground. Well, that was filmed with her walking backwards and then them moving the film in reverse to make it look like it's a lot more surreal.
Right.
So
And it kind of gives that stop motion effect
yeah,
to it. So
yeah, it gives it more of a strange, eerie. What's the word I'm looking? Fluidity to
right.
it. But yeah, that was an interesting fact that I had. Roberto Campanella.
Campanella. Yeah.
Campanella.
Or Campanella.
Campanella.
Yeah.
Campanella.
Campanella.
Well, he was the actor that played Pyramid Head in the film. As a matter of fact, he wore 15-inch heels to make the character closer to 7 feet tall.
Good grief.
And not only was he walking around in 15-inch heels, the helmet that he wore was 12 pounds.
That's
So that had
that's
to be really
miserable.
uncomfortable.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
But
Man.
that's really all I have for Silent Hill. I might go watch that tonight.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I've been meaning to watch it.
Did you go over the ratings already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Just that's high for me for like a horror flick.
Yeah.
I mean that it was that eerie for me. It was just eerie.
I think
creepy.
you're appreciating horror films a lot
I am.
more now.
I am. I'm still not too much into gore, all that much. I mean, but I'm still having second thoughts about watching Mad Dog. But that was weird.
Oh yeah, I don't even know if should put that in a horror category. I mean, I guess it kind of is. It's just more of a
Psychological
fantasy.
Oh, Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mad Dog? You mean Mad God?
Mad God. Yeah, not Mad Dog. I wish I had some Mad Dog when I was watching that.
Ooh,
Probably
gross.
Yeah.
No.
no Mad Dog 2020.
No. So, do you prefer slashers or
I like the
zombie
slashers.
films? Would you rather watch a zombie film or a slasher?
Slasher.
What about a slasher or a creature feature?
I don't mind creature features, so I would go with that.
So you'd pick a creature
Yeah.
feature over a slasher?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's all I got.
Okay.
I mean, I could keep going with this, but
Right.
let's move along.
Yeah, we got a long episode here.
What you got, Sea-Dog?
I'm going to talk about the movie Tekken.
Okay.
A lot of people didn't even know they made a movie.
I didn't.
It was.
I remember the game.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know they made a movie, and I came across it accidentally. It was on TV, and so yeah, it wasn't very popular, and the ratings show it.
When was this released?
This was released direct to video on July 19th, 2011.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it just, like I said, popped up out of nowhere.
New to me.
Right. There was no news or anything. If you're not familiar with Tekken, character Jin Kazama witnesses the death of his mother June by Tekken, which is a fighting tournament, kind of like Mortal Kombat.
Uh-huh.
In the slums known as Anvil, is the name of the town. After finding her Tekken ID, he decides to seek out vengeance for his mother's death. Starring in this movie is Kelly Overton.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No. Kelly Overton, John Fu, and Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa.
Oh, okay.
So, does that name sound familiar to you?
No.
No? You ever seen, was it Rising Sun with Wesley Snipes and Sean Connery?
I haven't seen that, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's in that one. He's also Shang Tsung in the 95 Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
So we'll hear his name again,
Okay.
and hopefully I won't screw it up. I don't think I screwed it up this time, but very hard to pronounce.
I think it was very good, Corey.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This movie was directed by Dwight H. Little, which we've heard of Dwight Little before.
Yeah, we have.
He also directed Murder at 1600, Marked for Death, and Halloween 4.
Okay.
So it was distributed and produced by Warner Brothers and Sony Pictures. Had a budget of $30 million, only grossed $1.6 million.
Yikes.
I mean, $30 million for a direct-to-video, that just seems
Is that our
out there.
third flop of the night?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I got all the flops almost. I think.
I think I only have one.
Excuse me, folks. IMDb gave it 4.8 out of 10. This is the first I've seen of this. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 0%,
Oh,
with a 31% audience rating.
wow. Okay.
That's the first zero I've ever seen on Rotten Tomatoes.
I know that Adventures of Pluto Nash is a 0.
Is it a 0?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're out there. All right. Letterboxd only gave it 1.8 out of 5. I gave it 5 out of 10. Just par. I mean, it's entertaining. I like the martial arts, style movies and stuff. And
How
that's
many times have you seen this film?
4.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your life?
I have no life. No, this is my younger years. I haven't seen it probably for a good 15 years.
Okay.
But
Well, isn't it only like 12 years old?
oh yeah, I guess it is. Feels like 15. So, anyways, yeah, I gave it 5 out of 10. Like I said, it's entertaining. It's action packed throughout the whole movie, and I have no fun facts at all about this movie. Like, there's nothing out there at all.
Okay.
So it was just a movie that just said, "Hey, we made this movie. Watch it."
Yeah.
And people
Direct
did.
video film
Right, and people did, and
for
they
$30
didn't-
million.
Right. That just, I think a lot of that was special effects
Mm.
and stuff into the movie because it looked like it was a big budget movie, but only 1.6 million. That's just insane.
Yeah.
That's a huge loss.
Yeah. Right.
So
And that's all
I'm sure Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa, I'm sure he was more excited about playing Shang Tsung than this movie. He went from Shang Tsung to this.
Yeah. I'm Shang sure.
Right. All right. Anyways, that's all I got. So, moving on.
Just stop me when I make stupid jokes like that. The next movie that I want to talk about is Assassin's Creed. Now, I've actually started watching this movie once before, and I didn't make it through. That doesn't mean that I thought it was a bad movie per se. It might have just been the mood I was in. I might have been distracted. I don't know.
It's very drawn out. It's a very slow moving movie.
This was probably like 6 years ago when I tried. It was a new movie at the time because this movie was released December 21st, 2016. Released by the studio New Regency. It was directed by Justin Kurtzel and written by Bill College plus two other writers. But Bill College is known for writing the Will Smith film Emancipation,
Okay.
the movie Accepted, and Tower Heist.
Nice.
Now, I've also done scores on some of these movies. The last ones I talked about, I didn't have the scores, but I do have some here.
Okay.
The score for Assassin's Creed was done by Jed Kurtzel, which was the brother of Justin, the director.
Mm-hmm.
Jed Kurtzel did the score for movies such as a brand new movie, The Pope's Exorcist.
Okay.
He also did the score for Samaritan, which
Right.
was Stallone.
Yeah. Yeah, the superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did the score for Overlord, which was a World War II zombie film. I don't
Right.
know if you've seen
Nazi
that.
zombies. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen it.
it's a good
Loved it.
movie, yeah.
Loved that movie.
And also The Babadook.
The Babadook.
The Babadook.
Never heard of it.
Really?
No.
Fairly popular film, came out just in the last 10 years.
Huh.
A lot of people in the horror community either love it or hate it. Some people think it's scary, other people think it's dumb, whatever.
Okay.
But it's a popular film. IMDb gave Assassin's Creed 5.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 19% with a 42% audience rating. And Letterboxd gave it a 2.1 out of 5, pretty low.
Yeah.
It was made on a budget of $125 million and made $240.7 million.
Okay, so it made its money back.
Yeah. Hopefully, that's a lot of money for a film. That's just ridiculous.
Right. I only gave it 5 out of 10. It was a good movie, but I played
You gave it what, 5 out of 10?
5 out of 10
Yeah.
slates. Yeah. I don't know. It was too slow for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've played the first 4 Assassin's Creed games, and it just didn't really follow that. It had a little bit of that concept
Mhm.
to it. There were some nostalgic parts in the movie that they had in the game
Yeah.
and everything, of course. But I don't know. It just didn't do it for me.
I actually have played Assassin's Creed. I can't recall which one it was, but
Mhm.
I have played it. But I haven't finished the movie, so I can't relate the two. For the film, though, it was filmed in Andalusia, Spain. And as far as the cast goes, we have Michael Fassbender,
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Irons, Brendan Gleeson, and Marion Cotillard. And some of the fun facts. Let's see. What do I got for the fun facts, Corey? The highest free fall by any stuntman in the last 35 years was done in this movie, which was 125 feet.
Nice. Which that's a key point in the games.
Yeah.
Is climb to the highest point and then you
Right.
can jump off into like a hay bale or something like
Yeah.
that and just
Yep.
free fall. So yeah,
That's
that
true.
that had to be in there.
Yep. So that was the highest free fall by any stuntman in the last 35 years.
Wow.
Also, 80% of the film was shot on camera without CGI. So 80% of the movie was done without CGI.
Okay.
Last thing I have is, let's see, many of the cast members walked out. No, oh, sorry. That's not correct at all. Many of the cast worked on 2015's Macbeth, so many of the cast members from this movie also worked on
Macbeth.
2015's Macbeth, yes.
Okay.
Which I have not seen.
I haven't seen Macbeth either.
Yeah.
No, but it's nice that they knew each other and familiar with each other.
Yeah, I'm sure it
Everything.
helped.
But yeah, the whole only 20% CGI, that kind of gives me a different perspective of the movie. A little bit, much more respect.
Yeah, it makes it. I'm interested to go watch it.
Yeah, I might give it a second watch.
Yeah,
So,
that's all I have for Assassin's Creed.
all right.
What you got, Sea Dog?
My next movie is Mortal Kombat, 1995.
Okay.
It has begun!
You said that was in August of '95.
August 18th, 1995.
Okay.
It was a day after my 16th birthday.
Yeah.
I have a story to tell about this, funny story. My
Oh, sorry. What?
my sister brought me to see this movie and everything because I was a huge Mortal Kombat, fan. Played the game, stood in line at the arcades waiting to play it. I was a big fan, and so she took me to go see this movie. We went to Outback Steakhouse right before, and for some reason I've never heard of such thing as free refills, and so they brought me this big huge mug of root beer. And then I got done with that one. They brought me another one. I'm like, well, I didn't ask for another one. They said, oh, no, it's free refills. I'm like, okay, well, keep them coming. I think I drunk like maybe 8 mugs of root beer before finishing my dinner.
And you're like, I gotta
had,
pay.
oh my God, I had so much indigestion. It wasn't
right.
even funny. And so I walked outside and to get some fresh air and everything and leaned on their van. They had a Ford Astro van. If back then, that was a thing. And I burped so loud that it set the car alarms off the cars next to us.
I think you've told me this story
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, I have. That's one of my memories from this movie is just that was. After that, I laughed. I was embarrassed, and then we went and saw the movie, and I was excited. But yeah, that's what I got from that movie is just indigestion and setting car alarms off with a burp.
Sounds like a good birthday.
Oh, it was awesome. All right, so the movie is about Lord Raiden. He's the god of thunder. He handpicks 3 martial artists, a federal agent, Sonya Blade, played by Bridget Wilson. Lord Raiden was also played by Christopher Lambert.
Bridget Wilson was Billy Madison.
Billy
right?
Madison, yeah. And Last Action Hero.
That's right. She was in that too. Oh, she was also in what's that movie with French Stewart? Love Stinks.
I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it was Love Stinks.
Yeah.
Shaolin monk Liu Kang, played by Robin Shou, and action movie sensation Johnny Cage, played by Lyndon Ashby, and mentors them. After intense training, Raiden transports the trio to Outworld, the site of an interdimensional fighting tournament. There, the 3 humans must defeat the demonic warriors of the evil Shang Tsung, played by none other than Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa, or allow Tsung to take over the Earth.
You're reading this, aren't you?
I am reading this. Again, like I said, it's starring Christopher Lambert, Bridget Wilson, Robin Shou, Lyndon Ashby, and Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa.
Okay.
I just like saying that.
So I did watch some of this, and Christopher Lambert in that role was really out of place. It was kind of off-putting.
You think he was out of place? Wait till you hear my fun facts.
Okay.
Because you're gonna be like, okay, he's okay. He was all right.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree with you. It was a little weird, having him play Lord Raiden, but he looked the part of
guess.
yeah. It was
so odd.
It was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Again. Of course, he did Death Race. He also did Alien vs. Predator and directed Event Horizon.
Yep.
It was distributed and produced by New Line Cinema. Had a budget of only $20 million and grossed 122.
Quick question.
Mhm.
Do you know what New Line Cinema's nickname is?
No.
The house that Freddie built?
Is it?
Yeah.
Because that was that their first movie?
It wasn't their first movie, but it was the movie that launched them into,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll say I knew Nightmare on Elm Street was almost at Nightmare Before Christmas.
I know. I saw that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the movie that got New Line going. Sorry, I didn't mean to get you off track. But
No, that's good.
it's a fun little fact. I didn't know if you knew or
I
any of
didn't.
the
No, that
listeners
was-
know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, 122 million it grossed out of $20 million budget. I that was pretty good.
Yeah.
IMDb gave it 5.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 45% with a 57% audience rating, and Letterboxd gave it 2.7 out of 5. I gave it 7 out of 10. Call me a fan. I mean,
You're a fan.
yeah. I mean,
You're a fanboy.
So, before I get to the fun facts, what did you rate this? You've seen it,
I
haven't
didn't
you?
finish it. I watched some of it. I didn't watch it as a teenager. It did not interest me whatsoever. I actually tried watching it just in the last month, and the special effects were god awful.
They were, but I mean, it was 95.
Yeah, I know it was 95, but they could have did something. I mean, it wasn't as bad as like
Last Starfighter.
Last Star. It's not Last Starfighter CGI bad, but
it's up there.
It's not good.
Yeah.
And I know that for the time, it was probably still bad.
The
but
sequel was worse.
yeah, I've
The
heard
Annihilation.
I've
that
heard
was-
bad things about
Yeah.
that.
That one I think people just tend to forget about.
Sure.
So
What was that? 97.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful. Everybody was replaced except for Shang Tsung.
Really?
Or not Shang Tsung, Liu Kang.
Yeah.
He was the only original in it. So it just made it bad. Anyways, moving forward, I gave it 7 out of 10. And so the difference,
I can't give it a rating.
that's okay. The difference between the 95 and the new one, the
21.
reboot,
Yeah.
2021 was simple. I mean, it has its differences. This one, the 95, was good because it actually dealt with the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It had the tournament in it. It followed more of the game storyline.
Yeah.
Where people are were yearning for the tournament in the new movie and didn't get it and stuff. So that was the differences between the two movies. Really, was just the tournament, and then the 95 didn't really have any fatalities. Like
Okay.
the only thing you saw was Shang Tsung, sucking the soul out of bodies, and that was about it.
With really bad CGI.
It was
I'm sure.
it was very horrible CGI. So that was the only difference. So now new coming of age, we actually have fatalities now. We have an R-rated. This was rated PG-13, so
Yeah.
they had to keep it clean. So some fun facts about this movie is Frank Welker. You know who that is, right?
I don't.
He's the voice of Scooby-Doo, Shaggy. He's done
Like newer. I'm guessing newer because
yeah,
Shaggy used to be Casey Kasem.
right. He's done. I think he's done Winnie the Pooh. He's or no, I'm sorry.
Blood and Honey.
No, I think he's done. He's done. He's a voice actor.
Okay.
So he's done several cartoon characters.
Okay.
And everything. He's well known in the cartoon biz. Anyways, he's uncredited as the voice of Reptile and Shao Kahn
Okay.
in this movie. Shao Kahn, he sounded more like Dr. Claw, because he played the voice of Dr. Claw in the Inspector Gadget cartoons.
Uh-huh.
And so
The original.
yeah.
Okay.
So Shao Kahn kind of resembled Dr. Claw's voice in the movie.
It's Dr. Claw.
Yeah, it's the claw. more like I'll get you,
Yeah.
gadget. Right.
That was actually pretty good.
Right. Ed Boon, which is the the CEO of NetherRealms, is
Sounds pretty dirty.
he he has two sisters named Sonia and Tanya, which are both characters of the Mortal Kombat franchise.
Okay.
So I thought that was kind of a fun fact. Bridget Wilson auditioned for the role of Sonya Blade, but because the casting took so long, she had to pass on it at first and to take her role in Billy Madison.
Okay.
Cameron Diaz just wrapped up filming The Mask and replaced Bridget for the role until she got injured during filming, so Bridget was able to come back after wrapping up with Billy
thank
Madison.
God.
Could you imagine
No.
Cameron Diaz as Sonya
thank
Blade?
you.
Yeah. So good thing that happened.
You know how I feel about Cameron Diaz.
Okay, now here you go. You thought Christopher Lambert was bad.
Okay, here we go.
Sean Connery was originally eyed for the role of Raiden.
What?
I am Lord Raiden, God of Thunder.
It's ridiculous.
But he didn't want a physical role at this point in his career. Danny Glover was also considered before they went with Christopher Lambert.
What? Isn't he too old for that shit?
Right. like hold up.
That's ridiculous.
This was originally supposed to be a Chinese guy. Like this is, martial arts, theme and I mean, no offense, I'm not racist or anything, but Danny Glover.
Might as well just put Eddie Murphy in the role.
I'm telling you. Oh,
Chris Tucker.
my God.
Hey, man.
Right? Fuck you, Shang Tsung. You got knocked the fuck out.
That's racist.
Right? So here's an interesting thing. Michael Jai White
Yeah.
claims to have been cast as Jax for the film, but its long delays caused him to do Tyson and Spawn instead. So he didn't get to do the movie, but he did play Jax in the YouTube series called Mortal Kombat Legacy.
I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. There was quite a few series because they broke it down in like origins of each character
Okay.
and everything. But yeah, he plays Jax in that, Jackson Briggs.
Black,
So I thought,
Black Dynamite himself.
right. so I thought that was
Dynamite.
so I thought that was kind of interesting that he actually still got to play the role of Jax just later on.
Okay.
And that's all I got on that. But
That was interesting.
yeah, a lot of fun facts.
Cool.
So what you got?
Next one I got is Warcraft.
Okay.
I did try and watch this. I got about 5 minutes in. I don't have a good reason why I didn't finish it, other than I was probably distracted or not in the mood. It wasn't because the movie was bad, but I was reading some stuff about it. People had reviewed it and stuff, and they said basically it's hard to follow if you don't know the game.
Right.
And I think that had an effect on me finishing the movie because I had not played the game.
It's very Dungeons and Dragons ish kind
Uh-huh.
of, or Lord of the Rings perhaps. It's just I never played the game either, and I didn't get the movie.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. It's not my bag of
The
dicks.
the graphics were good. I give it that. The graphics were good. The game was actually a PC game
Yeah.
only. Like it never came out on any console. It was just PC only. So, if you didn't have a computer, then you didn't know this game.
Right.
So,
Well, I was playing computer games before I had a Nintendo. This was also before.
right.
It's a long time ago. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up my age,
Right.
which I've already done like twice today.
Play
so
some
it
Oregon
doesn't really
Trail, did
matter.
you?
I did play Oregon Trail, yes. Uh-huh.
They're supposed to be remaking that actually.
Interesting. That'd be a fun movie.
Right?
They'd probably screw it up.
Probably.
But Warcraft was released June 10th, 2016 by the studio Legendary and also Universal. It was directed by Duncan Jones, who is known for his movies Source Code with Jake Gyllenhaal
Mm-hmm.
and Moon. You've
Moon?
Seen Moon.
No.
Have you seen Moon? You haven't
I haven't seen Moon.
It's Sam Rockwell.
Okay.
It's a good movie. If you ever get a chance, check that out. It's a really good movie. It's about clones,
Okay.
and he's stuck all alone in this craft, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. I don't want to give too much away, but it's
Yeah, no.
check that movie out. It's good,
Okay.
especially if you like Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Warcraft was also written by Charles Leavitt, who wrote Blood Diamond with Leo DiCap
Right.
and K-Pax with Kevin Spacey.
Okay.
So
That was a good.
it's got some good people working on this film.
Right.
The score was done by Raman Djawadi, who also did the score for Uncharted, Game of Thrones, Pacific Rim, and the original Iron Man.
Okay.
The 2008?
Yeah.
I think that was when it came out. It's the movie that
Started it all.
started the MCU.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, Robert Downey. IMDb gave it a 6.7 out of 10. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 29% with a 76% audience rating. And Letterboxd gave it a 2.6 out of 5. So it's fairly average, but it's got some high ratings.
Yeah, I gave it 6 out of 10. I haven't seen it fully. I've watched about halfway through, and I'll give it 6 out of 10. The battle scenes are great. The graphics are good.
That's
you
one
know.
thing I do have to say about it from what I did see is that the graphics seem really good.
Yeah.
I think I was just I was put off by the fact that I didn't know the story,
Right.
so I felt like I was going to be lost
Right.
watching it. So
Yeah, just going in blindly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea for this film. So if you don't know the game or you don't know the storyline, I would suggest not going into it blindly.
Right. Play the game a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
read up on it first.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
That's just what I understand of it. So
Yeah.
it was made on a budget of 160 million, and it grossed 439 million.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah,
Jeez.
holy mackerel is correct. All the fishes. It was.
I just sounded really old, man,
Yeah.
saying that.
It was filmed in the Canadian Motion Picture Park Studios in Burnaby, Canada.
Okay.
I'm assuming it was filmed in those studios because of all the CGI.
Probably.
It had a cast of Travis Fimmel, Paula Patton, Ben Foster, which I believe we've talked about him.
Yep.
Clancy Brown, love Clancy Brown. I know him from Pet Sematary 2. Some fun facts about the film: the Orcish dialect was created there was an Orcish dialect created just for this film.
Okay.
Let's see. Also, the film was to be released in December of 2015, but it was pushed due to the release of Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Okay.
Post-production for the film took 20 months.
Wow.
I know, that's pretty crazy. I'm assuming because of all the CGI. I don't know if there was any technical problems,
Right.
but there was a lot of effects for
Yeah.
this film.
That's
so.
a lot of prep.
The director endured the diagnosis of his wife's breast cancer and the death of his father from cancer during production.
Oh man.
I believe he said that the film began with his wife's breast cancer diagnosis and ended with his father's death, or vice versa. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, the
That's
film
tragic. Wow.
started with death, or it started with cancer and ended with cancer.
Mm.
It took 123 days of filming, and the last little fun fact I have is that the character King Lane, Colin Farrell was the first person to be approached for the role,
Okay.
but it was given to Dominic Cooper.
I think I would have rather seen Colin Farrell do it.
I like Colin
Nice,
Farrell in
yeah.
anything I see him in.
Right. I think that would have been better ratings probably.
Especially the new weirder movies that he's been doing, like The Lobster.
Right.
I really like that movie. I don't know why. Probably because it's just so odd and offbeat.
Yeah.
Should check that one out too.
The Lobster.
The Lobster.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's all I have for Warcraft. Haven't finished it, so I can't rate it.
Right. Like I said, I gave it 6 out of 10. That, you know, it was decent.
All right. What else you got?
My next movie is Uncharted.
Okay.
You just mentioned it. This is it's about a treasure hunter named Victor Sully Sullivan,
Mm-hmm.
and he recruits street smart Nathan Drake
Yep.
to help him recover a 500-year-old fortune. This one, I've played the games.
Me too, for once.
Have you?
I've played all of them
Okay.
and beat all of them.
So,
I was actually a huge fan of this series of games.
all right. So yeah, I love the movie. It was energetic. It was adventurous. You know, it was everything the video games are, really.
I don't have anything bad to say about
Yeah.
the movie. I don't think it stood out as anything special. I'd give it like 6 out of 10 slates.
Right.
But then again, I don't really remember the movie that much either. I've seen it once.
Yeah.
I'd go watch it again just to check it out.
This is really fresh because I just got through watching this on.
Oh,
on
did
the-
you?
Yeah.
This
so-
week?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I just
Your
wanted
first
to,
time?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I want this. This was one that I wanted to make sure that I watched because it was just available
Okay.
to watch. You know, so
When was it released?
it was released February 18th, 2022.
Okay.
It stars Tom Holland,
Yep.
Mark Wahlberg,
Yep.
and Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas.
He actually plays the bad guy,
Yep. He does.
Santiago Moncada.
Okay.
It was directed by Ruben Fleischer,
Yeah.
which he directed both Zombieland movies,
Yep.
30 Minutes or Less, and Venom.
Okay.
Uh,
The
just-
first Venom?
Yeah, the first Venom.
Okay.
It was distributed and produced by Columbia Pictures and Sony Pictures. Had a budget of 120 million, grossed 402.
There you go.
So, like I said, it did well.
Well, you know it's going to gross a lot of money because it's based on the game, which
Right.
was very, very popular game, plus Tom Holland.
Yeah,
I mean, that guy,
he can do.
he's
anything.
doing well right now.
Yeah, he is, and he's young, so he's
Yeah.
still got a lot to go.
Right.
IMDb gave it 6.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 41% with a 90% audience rating.
Wow.
And Letterboxd gave it 2.8 out of 5. I gave it 8 out of 10 slates. I love the movie. It was great.
Okay.
Some fun facts about the movie. The movie took inspiration from Naughty Dog's Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. So not the first one, but the fourth one,
Okay.
which it happens to be Tom Holland's favorite game out of the series.
Okay.
And I kind of agree with that. It's a more adventurous and funner game to play.
I guess. I like the second one always.
You like the second one?
The second one the most, yeah.
The film serves as a prequel to the games.
Okay.
So kind of an origins base. Tom Holland started filming Spider-Man No Way Home just days after Uncharted wrapped.
Woof.
So yeah, no break at all. Just
No rest
right
for the
into it.
wicked. And all the other cliches.
Right. Mark Wahlberg compared the movie to Indiana Jones and the Thomas Crown Affair, which elements of heist and adventure films, which I agree. It kind of gives that.
I
that
don't
feel.
remember that Indiana Jones movie.
No, yeah.
Indiana Jones and the Thomas Crown Affair.
Right. No, I know. That's how it's worded, though. So, no. But
That sounds awful. What do you think about the new one coming out, Dial of Destiny?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm ready for it to be over with, actually.
Did you see that they're doing a lot of CGI
Yeah.
on his like
The age.
the age?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just, like I said, I mean, Harrison Ford is a phenomenal actor, but he needs to retire.
He's 80.
Yeah, I think
The man is 80 years old.
He said this is the last time he's playing Indiana Jones, so I don't think
Well,
we're
sure.
ever
He didn't get into acting until he was like 30 years old.
right.
And he was doing carpentry on George Lucas's sets.
Yeah.
Which is how he got noticed in the first place.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good ending, and to a great franchise.
Yeah.
So
Start playing some
hats-
grandpas in some movies.
right. Well, he is in 1923, which it's a TV series about Yellowstone.
Yellowstone, yeah.
So or a prequel, another prequel to
Right.
Yellowstone.
I haven't seen it, but
But yeah, that's all I've got on Uncharted.
okay. Well, the one I'd like to talk about is a brand new movie released April 5th, 2023, and it is the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, we're the Mario Brothers, and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. When your sink is in trouble, you could call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers. Hooked on the brothers. Yo, you're in for a treat, so hang on to your seat. You're ready for adventure and remarkable feats. You'll meet Koopas, the Troopers, the Princess, and the others. Hanging with the plumbers, you'll get hooked on the brothers to the bridge. The brothers.
Yeah, we wouldn't seen this.
Yes, we did. It was fun. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Rating might go up if I watch it again. I'm sure I will watch it again.
Yeah.
Everybody seemed to like it. It's a good movie. It was directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelinek. Michael Jelinek,
Okay.
who has also done some work with Mad TV, Teen Titans, and Batman series, animated series.
Okay.
I believe both the directors did work on Teen Titans. So,
Nice.
the movie was written by Matthew Fogel, who also wrote Lego Movie 2 and Minions Rise of Gru.
Mm.
So he was definitely equipped to write this film.
Right.
The score was done by Brian Tyler, who also did the score for Scream 5, which was released a couple years ago. Also did the score for Ready or Not.
Okay.
Now You See Me, I think he did both of them, as well as Final Destination 5.
Nice.
So, done some good scores there.
Right.
IMDb gave this film a 7.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 59% with a 96% audience rating. Now, this was last week when I did this. I don't know if the numbers have changed.
Mm-hmm.
And Letterboxd gave it a 3.5 out of 5. That's pretty good.
Right. And this is our first current theater playing movie that we've
Yes,
that
it's
we've
currently
reviewed.
in the theaters right
Right.
now, still playing. And it
So
probably will
this
be
is
for-
ongoing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably will be for a couple more months, but as of right now, the budget for the film was $100 million. And I looked today, and we're at about $1.1 billion.
Wow.
And still growing.
Wow. So yeah, it's gonna be that's gonna be up there on top grossing movies of all time.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Right now, it's the highest grossing movie of the year,
Right.
and I don't know if it's going to be surpassed.
I don't think so.
I don't see it happening. It could.
I gave the movie 8 out of 10 slates.
Okay.
I liked it. It was what the audience wanted. It was
Sure.
it's what we've been wanting for a long time.
Yeah, so many nostalgia grabs within the movie.
Yeah.
So many Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I think it was done well.
I think so too. Great
And it
movie.
was definitely made for us,
yeah.
the
I
Gen
mean,
X.
Yeah, there was a couple new Easter eggs in there that today's generation would understand, but yeah, definitely it was made for us.
Yeah, it was.
Basically, sorry about '93. Here you go.
Yeah, right. All right, so the cast includes Chris Pratt, who was the voice of Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Anya Taylor-Joy, who I just saw in a movie just in the last month called The Menu, which I strongly suggest watching.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
I don't know if I consider it a horror movie, but if I bought the movie, I'd probably put it in my horror section.
Okay.
It's more of a thriller. It's really odd and offbeat, but great film. Charlie Day is also voices a character. Jack Black. Keegan Michael Key, who we know from Key and Peele.
Right.
And Seth Rogen. Yeah. You can always tell with the laugh.
Right.
The movie was filmed in Paris, I'm assuming just in a studio in Paris. And I don't want to give a lot away. I mean, the biggest thing about the movie are the Easter eggs. Like I said, I don't want to give a lot away, but there was one Easter egg in the movie that I noticed right away. And there was a sign behind Mario when he's hiding. It's a sign of Jumpman. And back in the early Mario days, before Mario, during the Donkey Kong days, I believe he was known as
early
Jumpman.
80s.
Yeah, the early 80s, he was known as Jumpman. And there was also a Commodore 64 game called Jumpman based on that character. And it's a game that I used to play all the time.
Right.
And like I was saying before we had a Nintendo, I had a Commodore 64, and that's where I played all of my video games. Jumpman was like number one on my list of games.
A few Easter eggs that we can mention, today's generation won't understand it because it's irrelevant to them.
Mm-hmm.
One other one, of course, is the commercial.
The theme from
the theme from Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
The Super Show, yeah.
Back in the 90s.
I used to watch that after school every day.
Yeah. So that was in there as well.
It's not a good cartoon.
Not a good cartoon.
It's really bad.
It was great when I was a kid, but after watching it now,
it's very dated.
Yeah, very, very dated. But it's good. I'm glad that they paid homage to it.
Yeah.
So hooked on the brothers.
Hooked on the brothers, and they even use the accent in the commercial, which I think is funny because people on the internet complaining, "Oh, he doesn't sound like Mario." Well, using that accent is kind of
right. Yeah. Exactly.
That's all I have for the movie. Yeah.
I wanted to point out that the CEO of Nintendo, the creator of Mario, was on the set every single day of this movie. So to make sure it's absolutely perfect.
Oh yeah.
So there's
it shows.
Yeah, it definitely shows.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it yet, go and see it.
What do you got?
I'm gonna talk about. I'm going dated here. I'm gonna talk about Double Dragon.
Okay. I forgot that they even made a movie about Double Dragon.
A lot of people did, and it shows.
I loved the game.
Right.
I played the NES 1, 2, and 3 all the time as a kid. I even nearly broke my hand because I got so pissed off at the game one day. I was like 11 years old.
Right.
And I punched the floor because I kept dying. I was like, God damn it. Yeah.
But yeah,
good times.
The movie, I don't even want to say the synopsis. It's so out there. Basically, it's about two brothers that have a half of a powerful ancient medallion, and this evil gang lord leader has the other half.
Bowser?
No.
Wrong movie. I'm sorry.
I think his name's Koga.
Okay.
If I didn't look that up, but I believe it's Koga. But yeah, anyways, he wants the other half so he can have absolute power and rule the world or whatever, you know.
Absolute power.
The bad guy is none other than Robert Patrick.
Really?
Yeah. So I think he did a lot better in T2
Yeah.
than this one.
Right.
It also stars Mark Dacascos.
By the way, I have met Robert Patrick, and he's exactly what you'd think he'd be.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Just stern, kind of just
Yeah. Really
down to earth.
sarcastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Mark Dacascos is also in it. Do you know you remember him from Only the Strong, and he's also the Iron Chef.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then Scott Wolf is also in this movie.
Why do I know that name?
He was big back in the early '90s.
Oh, that's probably why.
Yeah. Alyssa Milano is also in this movie.
How do I know that name? Oh yeah, she's in my favorite Schwarzenegger movie.
Right.
Anyway.
It was released in November 4th, 1994. Director was James Yukich, and this was his only film he's ever done. He's done hundreds of like music videos and music documentaries and
Such as?
Anywhere from like Mariah Carey to Metallica. Like
Yanni.
Yanni, I think was even on there. Like, I mean, just a wide variety for many years, like starting back in the 80s.
Yeah.
To now. He's still doing music videos and stuff now.
Okay.
So this was his only film that he had directed. It was distributed and produced by Focus Features and Imperial Entertainment.
Okay.
Had a budget of $7.8 million.
I didn't know that Focus was that old.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't hear very much of them now as I did back in the 90s.
Right.
But yeah, I had a budget of $7.8 million. It only grossed $2.3 million. So it wasn't a big flop, but
A flop's a flop.
flop's a flop.
A flop's
Exactly.
a flop's a flop.
IMDb gave it 3.9 out of 10.
Oof.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 12% with a 26% audience rating.
Wah wah.
And Letterboxd gave it 2.5, or 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
Okay.
I gave it 5 out of 10.
Okay.
I probably could have gone lower, but I'm being nice.
I don't recall ever seeing it, so again, that's where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the trailer for it, it's the classic movie guy in a world where, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that guy.
And it was released, just a month before Street Fighter.
Yep.
So you've got Double Dragon and then Street Fighter and then
Mortal Kombat a year later.
Yeah. I
So it was
remember
very big.
I remember that time when all those damn movies came out, and I didn't watch a one of them.
Some fun facts about it is the only fun fact I have, which I found interesting, the sibling characters in the movie, Marion, which is played by Alyssa Milano, and Mark Delario, are actual siblings in real life, which are Alyssa Milano and Corey Milano.
Okay.
So that was kind of interesting that
I
the
didn't know
siblings
she had
played
a brother.
siblings.
I didn't know she had a brother.
Didn't either until now. So
Hooked on the brothers.
yeah, so that was the only fun fact I found about this movie, and really that's all I cared about.
Okay. Fair enough. You good on that one then?
I'm good.
All right. Next one I want to talk about is Need for Speed.
All right.
Tried to watch that one too, but we'll get to that. The movie was released March 14th, 2014. It was directed by Scott Wang. Yeah. Waugh. Wang.
Okay.
Who also directed Act of Valor. Did a lot of other stuff too, but that was the most noteworthy. Need for Speed was written by George Gattens, who also produced She's Out of My League. You ever seen that?
Yes.
Okay. The score was done by Nathan First. IMDb gave it a 6.4 out of 10, which I think is a little high for the film.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 22%, 56% audience rating, and Letterboxd gave it a 2.6 out of 5. I gave it 4 out of 10 slates.
I agree.
I really did try and watch this film, but it was damn boring.
It really was. It was disappointing.
It was not cohesive whatsoever. There wasn't a lot of acting effort.
Yeah.
It kind of fell flat altogether. I do like Aaron Paul. I'm a big fan of Breaking Bad. Aaron Paul was in the film. Also in the film was Dominic Cooper. Remember that name? I just said it earlier.
Yeah.
He was in Warcraft
Right.
as King
Lad?
something.
Something like that.
Also in the movie was Imogen Poots. She was also in Green Room. You seen Green Room?
I haven't. You told me about it. It's very weird. Yeah.
Very gory.
Right.
Great movie. You probably won't like it since you're not a big gore fan. But also in the film was Kid Cutie, Rami Malek, who we know from he played Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. Bohemian Rhapsody. He was also Night at the Museum. He was in it. Yeah.
What was he?
He was one of the prince. He was the prince, Egyptian prince.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not Common Raw. It was something else. I
See,
think.
I don't even remember him until Bohemian Rhapsody. That's the one that,
Right.
made me take notice. Also in the film was Michael Keaton. The film was done in Detroit as well as California, and there were also some scenes shot in Macon, Georgia. Some of the fun facts that I have were that many of the car stunts that were done using shells of the cars. So Steven Spielberg is the executive producer of this film, and he decided that Aaron Paul should play the lead character and not the villain.
Okay.
And the last little fun fact I have about Need for Speed is that it is only the third action film done by DreamWorks, only after The Peacemaker and Minority Report.
All right.
So that's,
Yeah, I didn't care for the movie at all.
I didn't really either. What did you give it?
I gave it 4.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen The Peacemaker?
I have seen The Peacemaker.
Was that George Clooney?
Mm-hmm.
From
George Clooney.
98.
Yeah.
And, Taya Leone?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I think so, yes.
And Minority Report, of course. I thought that was a good movie.
Tom Cruise. Tiny Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tiny Tom Cruise. I'm not a Tom Cruise fan, but he sure does do a lot of good movies that have no business being good.
All right.
But that's all I have for Need for Speed. What you got?
I'm going to talk about 2018's Tomb Raider, not the Angelina Jolie one.
Right.
So this was basically the reboot.
Okay.
Or reimagined.
I have not seen it. I think I saw some of the Angelina Jolie one. Don't have anything good to say about it.
I've seen both of those. I've seen half of this movie. I need to finish it. I find it way better than Angelina Jolie's movies.
Okay. Does it have more substance to it?
It really does. Yeah, it follows the game more, and I think the action scenes, the stunts, everything that just the all around adventure is a lot more intense than what the Lara Croft movies were, or the Angelina Jolie Lara Croft movies were.
I did actually play a little bit of Tomb Raider long time ago.
Yeah,
It's been so long that it's a vague memory.
Right. All the boxed figures and stuff like that, and I remember playing it on PC.
Yeah.
It was the first time I ever played it, and it's grown since then. It's the graphics have gotten a lot better, and it's
hopefully.
it's very it's very interesting.
When was it released?
It was released March 16th, 2018. It stars Alicia. I hope I'm saying that right.
Alicia?
Let's say Alicia. Alicia Vikander and Daniel Wu, Walter Goggins, and
I wish I had that name. Continue.
and Dominic West.
Okay. I know that name.
You know Dominic West, but you don't know Walter Goggins?
I guess not.
Huh?
I don't know.
You're gonna die, fat man. You don't remember?
What is that?
He was the hitman in Fat Man.
Oh, I need to rewatch that.
Oh, and then he was also in Django,
Oh,
where he's the one where I'm gonna dance in the moonlight.
okay.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Anywho, going off script here.
We have a script?
Somewhere.
You got paid?
Right. The director is Roar Uthog, which is known for
We've talked about him in earlier episodes.
The Wave,
Yeah.
and he also did 2022's Troll. Mm-hmm. It was a Netflix film.
Yeah, not the 80s Troll.
Right, that one was way better.
I'd rather watch the 80s Troll than
Yes.
or Troll Hunter.
Right. It was distributed and produced by Warner Brothers. Had a budget between 90 and 106 million and grossed 275. So it made money.
Okay.
IMDb gave it 6.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 53% with a 55% audience rating.
Not too much of a gap there.
No. And then Letterboxd gave it 2.8 out of 5.
Okay.
I gave it 8 out of 10 just from what I've seen of it. I know it's going to be a good movie.
Okay.
Even if it's a crappy ending, I wouldn't be upset about it. It's entertaining. It sticks with the game.
I'd give it a shot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Of course, I'd have to be in the right mood.
Right.
And that seems to be an issue with me.
Some fun facts. Alicia Vikander had to put on like a lot of muscle to play Laura Croft, so it looked more realistic. So much that now she can lift her own body weight.
Okay.
She also did her own stunts in the movie.
She needs to get to the point where she can lift 50 times her body weight like an ant.
Right. Daisy Ridley had to turn down the role of Laura Croft because she was committed to Star Wars Episode 9.
Okay.
So that's
Was that Rise of Skywalker or something?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The last of the Skywalker saga.
I'm totally guessing.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Oh, okay. All right, well, let's move along then.
All right.
Next one I have is Max Payne.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't seen it either, and I have not played the game. How old is this game? Do you know anything about this game?
I think it came out on PlayStation 1.
Okay.
Basically, your basic shooter game, you know.
I think I remember seeing the cover of it, but I don't recall ever watching the game being played, or have I played the game myself.
Right.
The movie, however, was released October 17th, 2008. It was directed by John Moore, who also directed A Good Day to Die Hard. The 2004 Flight of the Phoenix with Dennis
Quaid and
Quaid.
Tyrese.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Have you ever seen the original Flight of the Phoenix? 60s
I've
movie
seen-
with Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of it.
I have seen that one. I've seen both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Original's way better. But anyway, I digress. And he also directed Behind Enemy Lines.
Okay.
So it looked like he was fit to direct this film. It was written by Bo Thorne. Nothing noteworthy that he's written otherwise. The score was done by Marco Beltrami, who also he's done several scores. Notably, he's done iRobot, Knowing with Nick Cage.
Mm-hmm.
World War Z.
I just watched that, Knowing.
Knowing?
Yeah, just recently.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it really is.
It's better than it should be.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Nick Cage anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
World War Z. He's also did a score for Blade 2. And more recently, he's done the score for Renfield, which I really liked.
Okay.
Not a vampire fan, you know that.
Right.
But I really liked the movie. Another Nick Cage film.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the guy's name, but the main character, the guy that plays Renfield, he's the guy from Warm Bodies.
Okay. Yeah.
He was the main zombie.
Right.
And Marco Beltrami also did the score for Plane.
Nice.
Have you seen Plane yet?
I haven't yet. I need to.
Good thriller.
Yeah.
It's very edge of your seat.
I heard they're making a sequel called Ship.
Really?
Honestly.
No shit.
not bullshit. Yeah.
No, you're not bullshit, me.
Yeah, I'm not.
IMDb gave Max Payne 5.3 out of 10. Letterboxd gave it a 2.0 out of 5. And Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 15% with a 29% audience rating. The budget for this film was $35 million. Do you think it flopped or not?
I think it flopped.
$87 million.
Really?
Did not flop. Actually made twice its money.
Wow.
Yeah, over twice its money. The cast for the film includes Mark Wahlberg. I wrote Mark Mahlberg. Mila Kunis, Beau Bridges, Ludacris, and Chris O'Donnell. So it has quite a few names.
Maybe we need to watch this.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Do we want to?
And people, you're probably asking yourself, why are we reviewing movies we haven't seen? And it's to give you other ratings as well, not just ours, but just give you insight on the movies to see if you're interested in them. And, to get your opinion.
And it's not just for you as well as it is for us.
Right.
We want to know about these movies we haven't seen.
Exactly.
Do we want to waste our time watching these movies?
Right.
Well, don't know.
I mean, Max Payne, I might give it a shot.
I'd sit down with you and watch it, even if we had to sit there and riff it.
Right. Science Theater 3000.
Yeah, hell yeah. If we're going to watch a bad movie, might as well
right.
make it worth our time.
Right. And, give us your opinions. Give us your comments and stuff. What do you think of these movies that we're reviewing?
Yeah, have you seen them? Have you not seen them? Were they good? Were they bad?
Yeah.
Should we watch them?
Exactly. We want to hear from you guys.
Yeah, let us know. But that's all I have for Max Payne. I don't have any little fun facts or anything like that.
Okay. Well, I gave it 4. I'm going to default it.
I'm not even going to default
I'm not even going to default it. I'm going to default it 4. I mean, just because of who's in it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So.
Little Mark Mahlberg.
Mahlberg.
I don't know why I wrote Mahlberg.
Were you writing upside down?
Yeah, Keela Moonis.
Right.
What do you got?
I'm going to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no. And if I'm ever discovered, I'll follow Longclaw's instructions and use my rings to escape to a new planet. A nice, safe little world filled only with mushrooms. Gross, smelly mushrooms.
I hate mushrooms.
So there was a lot of controversy with this movie, and I'm going to talk about that.
I don't think I've seen this.
No?
No, I've seen the Pokemon movie, which was awful.
Detective Pikachu.
Pikachu
Mm-hmm.
was not a good movie. But I would like to see the Sonic movie and the sequel.
Yeah. I would recommend it before the third one comes out.
I like Jim Carrey.
Yeah, he does phenomenal at this.
Does he?
Yeah, he's back to his old roots again.
Okay.
So you'll enjoy it. Anyways, I'm not even going to give a synopsis. Everybody knows who Sonic the Hedgehog is.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to give a synopsis of this movie. It's about Sonic the Hedgehog and his fight with the evil genius Dr. Robotnik. So
Okay.
anyways, there's your synopsis. Starring is Jim Carrey, Ben Schwartz, which he provides the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
James Marsden
Uh-huh.
and Tika Sumpter.
Okay.
And It was released February 14th, 2020,
Okay.
and it was directed by Jeff Fowler. This was his film debut. This is the only film he's ever done. He did this one and the sequel.
Okay.
And he's doing a third one as well.
Okay.
So this is his baby.
Clearly, they're not flopping, and they're letting him continue directing.
Right. It was distributed and produced by Paramount Pictures.
Uh-huh.
It had a budget of $85 million and grossed $307.
Good for it.
And IMDb gives it 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes gives it 64% with a 93% audience. And Letterboxd gave it 2.9 out of 5.
All right.
I gave it 8 out of 10 slates.
All right.
I mean, you haven't seen it yet. Great movie.
Should I go watch it?
Yes, definitely. And the sequel.
Okay.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
I think I'll watch Silent Hill first.
Yeah. You need to watch that one first.
Yeah.
Then you can watch this one.
Okay.
Do it. Do it now.
Do you have any little fun facts about the movie?
I do, actually. I have a few. So since it was announced in 2014, it was supposed to have been released in 2016 from Sony Pictures.
Uh-huh.
But with the production delays and backlash from the original design of Sonic, Paramount Pictures took over, and the movie finally got released in 2020. So everybody,
Wow.
so yeah,
Took a while.
The Sonic the Hedgehog at the beginning was horribly drawn, and that's why he's disfigured. I mean, he was Ugly Sonic. That's his nickname, is Ugly Sonic.
Okay, so how did they know this? Was this leaked?
Yeah. It was in a trailer. They showed the first trailer of it, and
People lost their shit.
Oh, they lost their shit big time on it. And so they were like, okay, well, we'll redesign him. How do you want him to redesigned? And they're like, just like he was in the cartoon, design him like that, and stuff. So they did a very good job. They even asked, I think they had a preview, if you will, like a debut of the trailer, a special viewing, and just to see what the ratings were going to be for that. And people loved the new design, and that's what we have now.
Okay.
But yeah, Ugly Sonic was so badly popular because of all the backlash.
Infamous.
Yeah, that they actually put him in the Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers movie.
Really?
Yeah, they did.
They actually used it?
They used it, yeah. So
we can't let this go to waste. It's so bad.
Right. So it's kind of cool to see Ugly Sonic, being used. But,
Okay.
Anyways, before James Marsden was casted as Sheriff Tom Wachowski, 3 others associated with the MCU were considered: Paul Rudd,
Nice.
Chris Evans,
Okay.
and Chris Pratt.
Oh.
What's funny about that is in the movie, Sonic nicknames the sheriff the Donut Lord.
Oh, really?
So what would have been funny if Chris Pratt was that he would also been Star Lord and the Donut Lord.
Chris Pratt doesn't need any more money.
No, no, he's doing fine.
Yeah.
He's got $1 billion movie out there right now, so
Right.
he's doing all right.
It's not his first one either.
Right. Jim Carrey was granted free range on improvising, and it shows.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
It shows in every scene.
Yeah.
So they just basically said, okay, here, do your script, and then it's all you.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's Ace Ventura pops out, and
You can't give Jim Carrey a role and just say it. Just stick to the script.
no. But that's all I got on that one. Highly recommend you seen it.
Okay.
So
I will check it out.
All right.
After Silent Hill.
right.
The last film I have for the night is House of the Dead, which is probably the lowest rated and crappiest movie of my list. I don't know because I haven't personally seen it again.
I haven't seen it, but I played the game quite a bit, in the arcades and stuff. And I mean, I like the arcade.
Is this a 90s game, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it was back in the 90s. It was just a first-person shooter zombie where you basically stood still, but like if you were in a vehicle, all of a sudden you would turn to the left, and then there would be zombies. You got to shoot them. It's
Okay.
kind of like T2.
Yeah.
Remember that in the arcades?
No, I
No,
don't.
or Jurassic Park. Did you ever play that one?
I played that on Sega.
Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's basically one of those type of games.
Okay. House of the Dead was released October 10th, 2003. It's the second oldest film I have on my list. It was directed by Uwe Boll, who
Okay.
directed also Alone in the Dark and Rampage, not our Rampage, but
Right.
he's known for doing a lot of really underground B horror films.
Mm-hmm.
Newer ones, not classic B horror.
Right. Right.
So it's a complete difference. This was written by Mark A. Altman. Score by Reinhard Besser. IMDb gave it a 2.1 out of 10. Ooh.
Mm.
Letterboxd gave it a 1.2 out of 5.
Oh my gosh.
And Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 3% with a 10% audience rating. Do you think this movie flopped?
Yes.
It had a budget of $12 million and made $13.8 million.
So no.
Made its money back.
Made its money back. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I don't have any desire to watch that really.
No, I don't either.
I think it would ruin the video game if I watched it.
The only thing good about this movie that I have on my notes is that it has Clint Howard in it.
Yeah.
Jonathan Cherry is the main actor in this film, but Clint Howard,
Right. Does he play an ice cream man?
I hope. That would be amazing. But that's all I have. I don't have any fun facts. I really didn't want to waste my time on a movie that seems so awful.
Yeah.
But I mean, then again, I've not seen it, so I can't say that it's awful.
Right.
If anybody's seen it, let me know what you think. I'd like to know if I should waste my time on it, or should Corey and I sit down and riff it?
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. Maybe we could riff it, record it, and release it.
Right. All right. So that's it?
That's all I have. Do you have any more?
I have one more, and we've been waiting for this for a while now.
You waited for the last. Really?
I did. Because there's a lot.
What an ass.
There's a lot to talk about on this one.
Tell me about 1993's Super Mario Brothers.
Here we go. I don't need to get into a synopsis, but I'm going to because it's different than way different than the 2023 one.
Yes. Completely different.
Two Brooklyn plumbers, Mario and Luigi, travel to another dimension to rescue a princess from the evil dictator King Koopa
Dennis Hopper.
and stop him from taking over the world. It
Lord.
stars Bob Hoskins as Mario,
R.I.P.
John Leguizamo as Luigi,
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper Dennis Hopper as King Koopa, and also starring Samantha Mathis as Princess Daisy.
Did you know that Easy Rider was directed by Dennis Hopper?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he directed it.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until just recently.
That's cool.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
No, that's all right.
completely go off the rails there, but
Right.
I thought it was interesting.
Right. Yeah. Rest in peace, Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, R.I.P.
It was released May 28th, 1993. Directors Rocky Morton and Annabelle. I forgot her last name.
Not gonna work here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right. Anyways, they were a married couple,
Okay.
and it showed. They were known for the Max Headroom show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, back in the 80s,
Sure.
and
That was an icon.
they this was their film debut.
Did they get
And
divorced after this film?
huh?
Did they get divorced?
If they didn't, I'd be surprised.
More
They're-
power to them.
Yeah.
They survived this tragedy.
Yeah, and I'll get into more of that here in a minute.
Okay.
It was distributed and produced by Hollywood Pictures, Walt Disney, and Dimension Films.
Okay.
It had a budget of $48 million and grossed $39 million.
Oops.
So it was a flop nonetheless,
Yeah.
but not as big as everybody thought it was going to.
Yeah.
So I was surprised when I seen that number.
There was a reason why it flopped, and I don't know if I saw this in theaters or not. I don't remember that. I think I might have, but it's definitely not a movie I was expecting.
Right.
And I think everybody else that was our age went in thinking the same thing and came out thinking the same thing. Like,
Right.
what in the actual hell?
Right. They were pissed off and
What just happened? I just got ripped the hell off.
right. I think I wanted to demand my money back, but I was,
Right?
but
I mean, I love me some John Leguizamo, but good God, man.
yeah, he turned down a biography, a biofilm,
Biopic?
yeah, a biopic of his life for this role.
Man.
Big mistake. And
Well, now he's got to make the biopic because of this film.
right, to discuss the mistake he made.
Yeah.
IMDb gave it 4.1 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 29%, and also 29% on audience rating.
I'm surprised it is not a 0%.
I kind of am too,
Because
actually.
it goes right. I think goes hand in hand with like Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Yeah, Double
Those type
Dragon.
of films. Yeah.
Yeah. Letterboxd gave it 2.1 out of 5. Arguably, I gave it 5 out of 10.
Okay.
I can't not give it below that. I did like the movie. I agree with everybody that it was the wrong movie.
Yeah.
But that's what the directors were going for.
Uh huh.
A more
A
darker,
reimagining.
yeah, a reimagining of the Mario Brothers. Being the first adaptation, I think that was a big mistake.
Yeah.
They should have went with original, and then maybe came out with a different rendition of it.
Yeah.
But or I'm sure Quentin Tarantino probably would have done a lot better job.
That would have been interesting. But yeah, I think they should. I mean, obviously, this was before the internet.
Right.
But there could have been some way they would have come out before the movie came out and said, hey, look, this is a reimagining of the film. We are not doing a rendition of the original idea of Super Mario Brothers. They
Right.
should have prepared us a little better
Yeah.
for what we were going
It
into.
would have gave us a different perspective of it,
Yeah.
probably. Maybe not. I don't know,
I
because
don't
it's
know.
bad.
I think I appreciate it a little bit more. I understand it's a bad movie. It's not a good movie.
Right.
It's just overall not a good movie. Even for a reimagining and understanding that it's a reimagining, it's still not that good of a movie. It's just, it's odd.
Yeah, it'll forever be known as the worst video game adaptation ever made.
Right.
So,
Oh, House of the Dead's pretty bad from
Yeah.
what I see.
right.
I'd have to watch it first.
But yeah, I gave it 5 out of 10 just for entertainment purposes.
Same.
It was
I'll keep it 5 out of 10 slates as
yeah,
well.
it was entertaining.
I don't hate the movie,
Right.
by the way. I don't hate it.
Right. You're just disappointed by it.
Still, after 30 years.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. When we went and seen the new Mario, we were both like, "See,
This.
this is what we wanted." What, 30 years later?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have a lot of fun facts about this movie that will clear up why this movie bombed so bad.
You said it was released in April of 93?
Yes.
Okay.
No, May.
Oh,
May
May.
28th. Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming up on the 30th anniversary.
Right. So,
We need to rewatch it. You and I need to sit down and watch
yeah,
this movie together.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be good. When it comes out, when the new one comes out digital, we can do like a double feature.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right. So Bob Hoskins didn't even know he was filming a video game movie. His kids told him whenever he got the role and everything, he was like, "Hey, I'm playing Mario for my next film and everything, and Super Mario Brothers," and they were all ecstatic and everything. He was like, "Who's Mario?"
Wow, he's out of touch.
Yeah.
The game's been out for, 8 years by that point?
Right, and yeah, he had no idea.
Wow.
So that's that's a bomb from the get go right there. You got to know your role, man.
Right?
Do your research. See here, there were several possible castings for the role of Luigi, which are very odd because I can only see John Leguizamo now as Luigi.
I think he's a shining point in that movie.
I think so too. Like, just he was the comic relief.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks,
No. No.
which he was doing. He actually passed on the role to do A League of Their Own and everything. But I don't think he would have stood to be the sidekick to Bob
No.
Hoskins. But after Who Framed Roger Rabbit's success, Bob Hoskins was like a big deal back then.
Yeah.
So he got the starring role. But yeah,
Tom Hanks, no.
Tom Hanks is Luigi.
As a sidekick, no, because he was already at that point a huge rising star. This
Right.
was just a year before Forrest Gump.
Right.
And
Yep.
wasn't this around the time of Philadelphia and
Mhm.
stuff like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman was also
That
considered.
would have been weird.
Right.
Bob Hoskins and Dustin Hoffman.
This one's even weirder. Danny DeVito.
Okay,
I
would
think
have
he
been...
would have been better as a Mario.
Dude, that would have been awesome, Mario.
Right.
Yeah. I want to see that movie.
The directors were they were a married couple, but not only that, but they were control freaks.
I got to stop you there for a second because
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of the Danny DeVito Schwarzenegger pairing.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is Bowser, King Koopa.
Yeah, that'd be great. Anyway,
Mario.
sorry. No.
Guys, if you're listening,
We're getting slap happy here.
right, call your agent. Where was I at? Oh yeah. So the directors, they were control freaks. They made everybody uncomfortable. They argued all the time.
Argue all the time.
Right. They made filming just very difficult for everybody. At one point, Rocky Morton poured hot coffee on an extra because they didn't look dirty enough for the scene.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was basically the boiling point of
Wow.
it. Yeah. Bob and John were drank on set every single day just to get through all the craziness from the directors.
Right.
John was so drunk during the driving scene of their work truck that he was slamming into like garbage pail cans and releasing the garbage pail kids. I'm just no.
I knew you were going to go somewhere with
right.
that.
He actually crashed into another car, and they got several injuries and stuff because they were so drunk.
Probably pissing off the director in the process.
Yeah, but they kept that scene in the movie.
Huh.
So if you see him running into trash cans and everything, averting people,
because
it's
he's
because
drunk
he's
off his
drunk
ass.
off his ass and can't see shit. So I mean, it's just this movie was just horrible all around. Even the
We
atmosphere.
need to rewatch this.
Yeah. This one I kind of felt interesting and wish he would have taken over the chair, but Harold Ramis was offered the director's chair,
Oh.
but declined it.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the movie would have been way better, even if it wasn't a video game adaptation
Yeah.
of the video game.
Or like Ivan Reitman or something like
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah.
So I found that interesting that he declined it, but he made a good choice
That
because
would have been interesting. Yeah.
yeah, it may have been a different atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
The de-evolution guns that were they were all they were the SNES Super Scopes
Okay.
that were just painted. That's how cheap they had to make this and stuff. Was they just painted it to make it look more sci-fi?
God.
But they were just SNES Super Scopes.
Okay.
And then the last thing I have, which is ridiculous, they use real strippers.
Oh,
for
this
the,
again.
Yeah, for the party scene in the film, and Disney was not happy with that at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, we gone from Romanian prostitutes to real strippers.
Hey, kids.
Right.
It's a Disney movie.
So that's all I've got about it. Yeah, that's
That's
it.
amazing.
So
That's amazing.
we
Now,
finally
I seriously want to rewatch this now.
yeah, just to riff it or just to get a reimagination
Sure.
of it, just to watch it.
Just whatever happens.
It was bad.
I need to consume this film once more.
Right. So
It's
yeah,
been years.
we've been talking about it forever. Now it's over. We got it done.
There it is.
So
Thanks for listening.
yeah, sorry about the delay, but you know, we have check out our Facebook page. Give us your opinions. You know, we want to hear from you guys. Give us suggestions. We're about to wrap up season 1, and we're looking for suggestions for season 2.
What do we have coming up next?
Next episode is going to be mixed animations.
Okay.
So,
Can you give us one example of a mixed animation movie?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Okay.
So just mixed, not so much going from cartoon to live action, but mixed together.
Sure.
I think there's a couple of them in there that we had to do that with, but yeah, it's going to be another long episode like this. It's 20 movies. There's just way too many of them to not leave any of them out.
Yep.
So
All
yeah,
right.
it's going to be a big one.
It was fun, Corey.
Yeah. Oh, and the video or the mixed animation episode is going to be our final episode for the season.
Yep.
It'll be our season finale, and we'll be starting season 2 in the next month or so.
Yep.
So yeah, give us get on Facebook, check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon. You know, just hit us up, give us your opinion, and we're working on some great new episodes for season 2.
Yep. So get out there, watch some shitty movies, and let us know.
Right.
See ya.
See ya.
This one is from my one and only true love, Princess Peach. Peach, you're so cool. And with my star, we're gonna rule. Peach, understand, I'm gonna love you till the very end. Peaches, 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 peaches. Ah, oh, yeah, yeah. Peaches, 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 peaches. I love you. Oh, Mario, Luigi, and a Donkey Kong too. 1,000 troops of Koopas couldn't keep me from you. Princess Peach at the end of the line. I'll make you mine. Oh, peaches, 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 peaches. I love you. Oh, peaches, peaches. Peach,